Welcome home and to our first reentry class. Some people find it really difficult to return home, hitting counterculture shock hard. Others seem to make the transition easily. Whatever is going on with you, we thank you for your continued dedication in making the most of this trip. Around 1 million Americans go on a short-term mission trip a year. What are you going to do to make the impact of it last in your life? Your relationship with World Renewal Brazil has now changed. You have seen what God is doing in Brazil firsthand. You now have a responsibility to pray for what God is doing in Brazil and share the insights that God has given you. And to everyone to whom much has been given, much shall be required from him. Luke 12:48.
So looking at the initial high to getting back into things paper. The self-concept. What have you learned about yourself from the trip? The values. How have your values changed? Are you showering for still so long? Are you using your water wisely? Expectations. What expectations have you had to face and give to God? Expectations of coming home. Expectations of what you would accomplish on the trip. Sense of loss. How can you give yourself closure and work what you have learned into everyday life? These are some important questions. So we'll give you about 3 minutes to talk about that, and then join us for the rest of the paper. One of the reasons you went on this trip should have been because of the desire to change the world in yourself. This desire to change the world in yourself shouldn't end when you return home. How you handle re-entry, which is the main thing we're talking about today, to a great extent will determine if you are going to continue to be affected and have an effect. So right here is Hebrews 11:8-13. And if someone could read that and just think about that. Think about that as you're reading through this paper and thinking about Abraham and how that relates to you. So we got some tips here on how to prepare yourself and your family for a more positive re-entry experience. You can read through that and talk about that together. I like this one, the third one. Know how the Red Sox are doing is not comparable to people dying without Christ in Haiti. Your priorities may have changed because of your experience. When you share the important things that have happened to you, many people will respond with the most important things that have happened to them. You need to understand and listen and not belittle them for misplaced priorities, or they will stop wanting to listen to you. Don't make the mistake of committing an appeal to worst problems fallacy, saying, well, this problem is worse, so it's more important, and that means yours is not important. Just because you have seen terrible suffering does not negate all other problems from being valid. People are hurting everywhere. They need God's healing everywhere. We need to be sensitive and understand that, and that God works through everything.
It can be a little bit discombobulating. I feel like it takes our bodies, our souls a bit to connect with our bodies after moving from continent, from country to country, for sure. So welcome back. I hope you are having opportunities to share your story and figure out ways of what is it that you want to share, because there's all of this that happened and you probably have time to pick this and share with someone and share it well. And if we're fuzzy and just, oh, it was wonderful, I just want to go back, well, that doesn't help anybody out. They don't understand what that means. So being specific, being clear. If you think about, a movie is very well, people will put billboards, people will put posters out, they will make a trailer of that movie. Not everybody's going to see the actual movie. Not everybody's going to take the time to sit down and listen to you actually tell the story complete. And there isn't a complete story. You won't be able to tell the whole story. You'll still be working through the story for the next months to come. But specific little blips. It's like sometimes you get to sit down and just do the trailer with people. Sometimes you get to sit down and just be like, here's the poster, the big idea of what it is. And so we have different ideas of how you can share just like the elevator pitch, the quick little hit for people who ask you, hey, how was it? As they're walking the other direction, you know, and you can be like, it was great, I'll talk to you later, or whatever. But important things to think about is connecting with God, how you connect with others, what the future is. You know, are you planning on going back? What changes are you going to make in your life? And gratitude. It's always good to share gratitude for the people who helped send you, the people who received you, and all the way in between. And yeah, if you're a techie, you know, putting together a short video, putting together the pictures, posting on social media. There's a lot of different things that you can do that you'll find are not just for others. It's actually very therapeutic for yourself as well to be able to share with them. So class 6 homework definitely relies on class 5 homework. So remember when you did that homework that you were supposed to, class 5, of figuring out how you wanted to start reflecting on reentry and closure from your trip, and take those ideas, and hopefully you were able to snatch a couple minutes away from doing this and doing that while you were on the trip to write down some ideas. I hope your team leader encouraged you to do that. I have just always been so grateful when I've been able to take a couple seconds to really capture something I was thinking in the moment, because those moments, you don't have them again. So being able to catch them is so important. So hopefully you'll be able to kind of join together all of the things that you have, and then reflect and add to that. It's always interesting, your pre-trip thoughts to your post-trip self. And different scripture memory verses, or that can become memory verses, different verses that really stuck out. Those special memory verses, those are gifts. Those scripture verses that grabbed you while you were on your trip. So I hope that you can hold those in your heart. Keep those close. And then also going back to the whole idea of assimilator, alienator, and integrator. How's it going? How can you do better? Go for it.